Halloween night, 1968. The kind of night where the wind whispers secrets and shadows seem to move just a little too fast. Mill Valley, Pennsylvania looks like your average small town. Quiet streets, porch lights flickering, kids in costumes roaming door to door. But behind its calm facade hides a story that nobody dares to talk about much anymore. Four teenagers, Stella, Augie, Chuck, and Ramon, are about to rewrite that silence. Stella's the curious one who can't resist a mystery. Augie's her loyal friend, always up for a dare. Chuck, quick-witted but cautious, keeps an eye on the group. And Ramon, the new kid with a tough past, has his own reasons for tagging along. Together, they make their way to the Bellows house, the most infamous spot in Mill Valley. The Bellows family disappeared decades ago under strange circumstances. Locals say the house is haunted, cursed, maybe even alive. Rumors swirl like mist. Strange screams at night, lights flickering in empty rooms, and worst of all, the chilling tales about Sarah Bellows, the youngest daughter who vanished without a trace. That's where the story really begins. Pushing open the heavy front door, the teens step inside. The air is thick, smelling like dust, decay, and something unplaceable, something dark. The house feels frozen in time. Wallpaper peels like dead skin. Furniture sits covered in sheets, and every creak echoes like a warning. Stella leads them upstairs where they find a locked door at the end of the hall. Augie picks the lock with shaky hands, and the door creaks open to reveal a hidden room, a secret chamber buried behind the walls of the Bellows home. The silence in the room is unnatural, almost suffocating. And there in the center sits an old wooden desk. On it rests a leather-bound book, thick with age and covered in dust. The cover is cracked, worn, but one thing is clear. The title, Scary Stories, is scrawled in a handwriting both delicate and unsettling. They gather around, their flashlights casting long shadows on the walls. Stella reaches out and opens the book. The first page is blank until words start to appear, written in what looks like dried blood. The words send a chill down their spines. Welcome to Basement 13. No one knows what that means. Is it a place, a warning, or something worse? What they don't realize yet is that the book isn't just stories. It's a doorway, a living, breathing entity that feeds on fear. As they flip through the pages, the stories begin to write themselves. The horrors Sarah Bellows trapped inside these pages are no longer just tales. They are alive, hungry, and ready to escape. The night shifts. The Bellows house, once silent, seems to breathe around them. Shadows twitch at the edge of their vision. A faint whisper drifts from the walls, pulling them deeper into the dark secrets of Basement 13. Stella feels a cold touch on her shoulder, but when she turns, no one is there. Ramon tightens his grip on the flashlight, eyes scanning the darkness. Augie swallows hard, his bravado fading fast. This is no ordinary Halloween adventure. This is the beginning of a nightmare that will change everything. A night where stories come alive and no one is safe. And it all started with a book, in a secret room, in the Bellows house. After they found the book, things started to get strange. Stella, Augie, Chuck, and Ramon sat in the hidden room. The Scary Stories book opened in front of them. At first, it looked like a normal old book, but the more they looked, the more it felt alive. The words on the pages kept changing. New stories appeared out of nowhere, and the writing seemed fresh, as if someone was writing it right now, just for them. Each story was scarier than the last. The pictures in the book, sketches of strange creatures and dark places, moved slightly when no one was looking. Augie was the first to say it out loud. This isn't just a book, it's something else. Like what? Ramon asked, eyes wide. I don't know, Augie admitted, but it feels like it's watching us, like it wants us to read it, or maybe it wants to trap us. Chuck laughed nervously. Trap us? Come on, it's just a creepy book. But Stella wasn't so sure. She felt a cold shiver down her spine and couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Suddenly, the room got colder. The shadows seemed to grow longer, darker. The flashlight beams started flickering. Then the pages of the book flipped by themselves, stopping at a story called The Whispering Walls. Stella read aloud. In the house where shadows breathe, voices call from the walls. Listen closely, or you'll never leave. As she read, a faint whisper filled the room. At first, it was hard to hear. Then it got louder, soft voices calling their names. Did you hear that? Ramon whispered, looking around. I did, Stella said, heart pounding. We need to get out of here. But when they tried to leave the room, the door slammed shut. They pushed and pulled, but it wouldn't budge. We're stuck, Chuck said, panic rising in his voice. The whispers grew louder, and the shadows seemed to creep closer. Stella's hands shook as she held the book tight. We have to finish the story, she said. Maybe that's the only way to open the door. Augie nodded. If this book controls the house, maybe the story controls us. They read on, following the words that appeared on the pages. Each sentence described things happening in the room, the cold, the whispers, the trapped feeling. It was like the book knew exactly what was happening. Then suddenly the last sentence appeared. Only when the last word is spoken will the path be free. Stella finished reading aloud. The whispers stopped. The shadows faded. The door creaked open slowly. They rushed out, gasping for fresh air. Outside, the night felt different, quieter but heavier, like the house had let them go but wasn't done with them yet. What was that? Ramon asked, still shaking. A trap, Stella said. The book wants us to read it, and maybe it wants more. Augie looked back at the Bellows house, dark and silent once again. We can't leave it here, he said. This thing is dangerous. Chuck agreed. We have to find out where it came from and how to stop it. They knew this was only the start. The Bellows house held many secrets, and the book was just the first. As they walked away, the house seemed to watch them, waiting for the next chapter to begin. The next day, the group met at Augie's place. The book was spread out on the table, its cover looking even darker now, like it held shadows inside. They all felt it, something pulling at them, begging to be understood, but warning them to stay away. We have to know where this thing came from, Stella said, eyes fixed on the pages. Ramon nodded. I looked up the Bellows family. They disappeared without a trace more than 50 years ago. But people in town say the house is cursed. Chuck frowned. Cursed? Like haunted? More than that, Augie replied. My grandma told me stories about Sarah Bellows, the girl who wrote the book. They said she was different, like she could talk to things no one else could see. Stella's voice dropped. And then she vanished along with her family. Some say Sarah's spirit got trapped in the house or in the book. They looked at the book, a chill running down their spines. We need to finish this, Stella said. Find out what Sarah was trying to say. As they flipped through the pages, they found stories of pain, loneliness, and anger. Tales written in Sarah's voice, crying out for help. The stories weren't just scary, they were warnings. Suddenly, the room grew cold again. The walls seemed to pulse as if alive. The book's pages fluttered wildly and stopped on a final message. To break the silence, to end the pain, the story must be told beyond the walls of the Bellows domain? What does that mean? Ramon asked. It means the story can't stay trapped in that house or this book, Stella said slowly. Sarah's story needs to be shared, told to the world. They all felt it, a weight lifting, like the house was breathing easier. But how? Chuck asked. How do we tell it? By telling the truth, Stella said, about what happened, about Sarah, her family, and what's really behind the Bellows house. They decided to bring the book and its stories out into the open. They started writing, recording, sharing every word they could. The scary stories became real stories, stories of a girl trapped by fear and silence. And something changed. The book's grip weakened. The shadows grew faint. The Bellows house still stands in Mill Valley, silent and dark. But the power of its secrets is fading. Because sometimes the only way to stop a story from haunting you is to tell it loud enough for everyone to hear. Stella, Augie, Chuck, and Ramon never forgot that night. They knew some stories are more than just words. They're a call for justice, for truth, and for freedom. And the scary stories? They're still out there, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. The Bellows house still waits, silent but not forgotten. The stories inside are more than just tales. They're whispers of truth, echoes of a past that won't stay buried. If you dare, listen closely. The story isn't over. Welcome to Basement 13, where every secret has its voice.